All right, let's dive into something I think a lot of people have thought about. Making work and travel, work together.
Yeah.
So we've got Lily's story, and she wants to see the world and also have a career, which I think a lot of us can relate to. And get this, her story isn't even in English.
Wow.
Yeah. Which just shows how universal this whole idea is.
Absolutely. It's kind of a shared dream no matter where you come from.
Yeah.
To see the world and still, have a job you like.
Totally. So Lily's kind of stuck, right? She
Yeah.
feels this pull to travel, but she has to, pay rent and all that. So where does she even begin?
Well, it's interesting because while she's figuring this out, the whole idea of work is changing, like right under her feet.
Yeah.
Working remotely isn't just some weird thing anymore. It's like becoming normal,
Mm-hmm.
which makes what she wants to do way easier than it would have been a few years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So she starts with what we all know, vacation travel, which is, all about fun. And then there's business travel, which honestly isn't always that fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But then she finds this whole concept of digital nomads. What are those?
Digital nomads are basically people who figured out how to work from, well, anywhere, really.
Okay.
Imagine like you're answering emails from a beach in Bali or you're coding a website in a cafe in Prague.
That sounds pretty amazing.
It's becoming a real thing. It's pretty cool.
Okay, but I bet it takes a ton of planning, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can't just show up in like Thailand with your laptop and think everything is just going to work out, can you?
You got it.
Yeah.
Lily quickly learns that being a digital nomad, it means having a job that doesn't tie you down to one place.
Makes sense.
And one of the most popular ways she finds is freelancing. It's like this global market for skills with people offering everything from writing and editing to web design and even like virtual bookkeeping.
Wow. So is it as simple as just like having decent Wi-Fi and a laptop? Are there any skills that are like more in demand for this lifestyle?
Well, that's where transferable skills are super important. Think about it. Being able to communicate well, solve problems, manage projects, those are valuable anywhere, no matter what specific job you're doing.
Right.
And here's a cool fact. Upwork, one of the biggest freelance platforms, they said that the number of freelancers globally, get this, it increased by like 87% between 2020 and 2023.
Wow, that is a lot.
It's huge.
Okay, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's got to be some downsides, right?
Oh, of course. It can't all be like sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
Like finding reliable internet, managing your time when you're in, exciting new places, even figuring out local taxes. It's not always a walk in the park.
Right. Well, speaking of real world stuff, Lily's friend Emily joins the conversation. She spent 2 months working at a cafe in Paris.
Nice.
Yeah, that's like a dream for so many people.
Right.
But how did it actually go for her?
So Emily's story is a good reality check, I think.
Yeah.
She loved being immersed in the culture, like really experiencing Paris like a local, not just a tourist.
I bet.
But finding that job, she really had to hustle. And there were definitely times when she had to be like super flexible and patient.
That makes sense. So it sounds like research is key here. You can't just wing it, especially if you're serious about making work and travel a long-term thing.
Exactly. And networking is huge.
Okay.
Like connecting with other people who've done it or even reaching out to people in the cities you're interested in can make all the difference.
So Lily, being like super resourceful, starts digging deeper.
Yeah.
She finds out about jobs and hotels, resorts, those kinds of places. Imagine working with like a stunning mountain view or right on the beach. I'd probably never want to leave.
Right. But it's not just about the scenery, is it? This is where what you care about comes in.
Oh, I see.
Lily realizes that even while traveling, the work itself has to be something you actually enjoy.
Gotcha. So it has to be more than just a paycheck. You've got to find something that genuinely interests you. Oh, and wait, didn't she also find out about volunteering? That seems like a whole other way to do this work travel thing.
Yeah. Volunteering is awesome because it lets you travel and do something good at the same time. Think about like teaching English in a rural village in Nepal or helping with a sea turtle conservation project in Costa Rica.
Wow.
It's not just about seeing the world. It's about giving back and actually making a difference.
Okay, I'm starting to get how many possibilities there really are. It's not just one path. It's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
It totally is. And Lily actually goes to this workshop about working while traveling. And the speaker, oh man, they tell all these stories of people doing all sorts of things, working on farms, leading tours, even jobs on cruise ships.
Wow, that's definitely different from being stuck in a cubicle. Sounds like there's something out there for almost everyone. But how do you even start narrowing it down and actually make it happen?
That's what we'll talk about in part 2. We'll see how the Lily takes all these cool options and actually starts making a real plan. Stay tuned.
Okay, welcome back to our deep dive. Last time, we left off with Lily's mind, like, totally blown by how many different ways people are mixing work and travel these days.
Yeah.
It's like the old work-life balance thing is getting a complete makeover.
It really is. It's a huge change. And Lily's story is a great example of how to, figure out this new way of doing things. She's not just watching. She's actually going out and finding information, talking to people, and really taking charge of what she wants to do.
Right. And remember how she was super interested in those jobs and hotels and resorts?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to work with those amazing views, right? But I'm guessing it's not all just pretty scenery. Like, what did Lily actually find out about those jobs?
So she found out that those jobs, they often mean working long hours, doing stuff that's physically demanding, and being around people all the time, which, depending on your personality, could be good or bad.
Right, so it's not just sitting on the beach sipping cocktails all day, huh? There's real work involved, even in paradise. But for someone like Lily, who seems to, love new experiences and meeting people, it could be a perfect fit.
Exactly. And she learned some interesting things about visas, the kind you need for these jobs. Like in Australia and New Zealand, they have these working holiday visas just for young people who want to work and travel for a while.
Oh, cool.
It's a really good way to get work experience in another country and really get to know a new culture.
So it's not just like a free-for-all.
No.
There are actual ways to do this legally. That makes the whole thing seem more, I don't know, real and doable.
Absolutely. And these visa programs usually have rules like age limits or needing certain skills.
Okay.
So it's really important to do your research and make sure you're eligible. There are also websites and online groups that can help you with the visa process, which can be really helpful.
Right. Okay, let's go back to volunteering for a sec. It seems so different from those resort jobs, but it still fits with Lily's goal of doing something good while she travels. What kind of volunteer opportunities did she find interesting?
So she's drawn to organizations that focus on, like, sustainable development, education, and protecting the environment, things that she really cares about.
Yeah.
She finds websites like Workaway and HelpX that connect volunteers with people all over the world. You can work in exchange for a place to stay and the chance to really experience a new culture. It's a fantastic way to travel on a budget and gain hands-on experience in something new.
So instead of paying for a hotel, you're using your skills to help with a project that matters. That's pretty cool. But I'm curious, what kind of work are we talking about here? Is it all like skilled labor?
It really depends. Some places need help with farming or gardening. Some need help with teaching English or fixing up buildings. There are even places where you can help with research projects or protecting wildlife. It's really about finding a project that matches what you can do and what you're interested in.
It sounds like a real adventure.
It is.
But I bet you need to be a certain type of person to really enjoy that kind of experience. You got to be flexible, open-minded, and okay with things not always going according to plan, right?
You're exactly right. Volunteering isn't for everyone. It often means living in simple places, working a lot, and adjusting to new cultures and customs. But for people who are up for the challenge, it can be incredibly rewarding, both personally and professionally.
And speaking of rewards, I remember Lily was really interested in the money side of all this. It can't all be about treating work for a place to stay and living super cheaply, can it?
That's where things get really interesting. She starts looking for ways to make money from her skills while she's traveling.
Okay.
She discovers websites like Etsy, where she can sell her graphic designs, and Fiverr, where she can offer her writing and editing services.
So even while she's volunteering, she can be working on a side hustle and making some money. That totally changes things. It means you don't have to choose between helping others and being financially stable.
Exactly. And these online platforms are really easy to use. All you really need is a laptop and internet access. It's like having a portable office you can take with you anywhere.
Lily seems to be realizing that this whole work travel life isn't just about one job or one place. It's about having a bunch of skills and experiences that let you adapt to different opportunities and places. It's about being resourceful, thinking like an entrepreneur, and always being open to new possibilities.
It's a whole new way of thinking, for sure. And in part 3, we'll see how Lily's journey takes an unexpected turn when she finds a whole community of people who also love mixing work and adventure.
Welcome back. So last time we saw Lily getting into all the details of visas and realizing that you can actually make money while volunteering. It's like work and travel are becoming, I don't know, less separate. in a really cool way.
Yeah, it's like she's figuring out how to break the traditional rules and make her dream work? And as she keeps exploring, she starts to see that this isn't just a solo thing. There's like a whole community out there that's living this lifestyle.
Wait, so it's not just people by themselves, like wandering around with their laptops? There are actually groups of people doing this together.
Right. Lily stumbles upon this thing called co-living, which are basically shared houses, but they're specifically for like digital nomads and remote workers.
Okay.
So it's like having instant friends and a support system all while you're checking out a new place.
That's pretty cool. So instead of feeling alone in a new city, you've got this ready-made group of people who totally get what you're doing.
Exactly. And these co-living places are popping up all over, from cities like Lisbon and Chiang Mai to islands like Bali and Koh Lanta. They often organize workshops, social events, and even co-working sessions, so you can learn from each other and even work on projects together.
Okay, that sounds amazing, like a cool mix between a hostel and a really productive office. But I'm also curious, does Lily actually have a plan yet, or is she still just in the research phase?
Well, remember how she was working on her graphic design skills and building her online portfolio?
Yeah.
That's when her parents' advice about planning and saving really hits her. She realizes that even with co-living and making money online, she still needs some, like, financial backup to make it all work.
Yeah, it's like that saying, if you don't plan, you're planning to fail. Right?
Exactly.
You can dream all you want, but without actually doing something, it's just a fantasy.
And Lily's not just dreaming, she's actually taking action. She starts keeping track of her spending, makes a budget, and sets realistic savings goals. She even looks into different banks that are good for digital nomads so she can easily use her money while she's traveling.
That's so smart. I remember trying to use my debit card in this tiny village in Peru, and it was a total disaster.
Yeah, it's all about thinking ahead and finding solutions before you actually leave. And that's where that online community of digital nomads is super helpful. There are forums, blogs, even YouTube channels dedicated to giving tips and advice on everything from what to pack, to visa stuff, to finding affordable places to stay.
So it's like having this network of mentors around the world who've already done all this stuff. That's incredible. It takes away some of the fear.
Totally. And as Lily becomes part of this community, she starts to see that there's no one right way to do this. Some digital nomads travel all the time, while others like to take it slow and stay in one place for a few months. Some want to make a lot of money, while others focus more on experiences and growing as a person. It's really about finding what works for you.
It's like you get to pick and choose what you want from this whole buffet of options.
Exactly.
But with so much to choose from, it must be kind of scary to actually take that first step. What does Lily decide to do?
So instead of quitting her job and booking a one-way ticket to Bali or something, she plans a little test run,
Oh, that's smart.
like a month-long trip to a nearby country where she can try working remotely and see what this digital nomad life is really like.
So like dipping her toes in the water before jumping all the way in. I like that approach. It lets her try things out, see if she actually enjoys it, and make changes before making any big decisions.
Exactly. And as she's packing for her test run, she's a mix of nervous and excited. She knows there'll be challenges, but she's also ready for the adventure and the possibility of building a life where her passions and her work fit together.
Lily's story is seriously inspiring. It shows that work and travel don't have to be these separate things. They can actually work together, complement each other, and even make each other better. It's about redefining what a fulfilling career means and living a life that's full of adventure.
And as we wrap up our deep dive, we want to leave you with this. What's your next step? What's calling you? Maybe it's time to dust off that passport, update your resume, and start exploring this incredible world of work and travel. There's a whole world out there waiting to be discovered.